I just wanted to pop on. I've just been finished a class, having a live online class today. I'm actually making hot cross buns. So I've got a bit of dough left over that I'm just going to shape. And let me know if you've ever made hot cross buns. Really delicious treat. Normally wouldn't really be making them in June. They tend to be an Easter treat, but just really excited to do a class today because I really enjoy them. Really a favourite bread to make. So I'm glad I got to make a whole nother set of them, going everywhere. Made a whole set of hot cross buns. So going to just be doing some shaping of dough. So yeah, not really the most seasonable of treats, but that's what I've been making today. And here is my dough, lots of fun. And let me know if you have been doing lots of baking at home, whether you've made hot cross buns or you've made an enriched dough before. So let me just shape up the rest of these and have a look. And yesterday, if you did join me, it went live yesterday as well. It's been really fun chatting with lots of people. Thank you for joining if you have been watching along and sharing some bread making tips. So yesterday I was talking about letting your dough rise and how you can check that your dough has risen enough. So I'm just chopping up this last piece of hot cross bun dough. It's really nice and soft hot cross bun dough, and it's enriched with butter and sugar and eggs. So it's a really delicious one to try. Weigh that out. Just trying to see if these weigh the same. So just dividing up this dough to make some buns. So just baking in an online class today, hot cross buns in a class. A bit unusual, normally do those before Easter, but that was the class request I got for today. So lots of online classes going on. Also have my membership that I'm planning for as well next week. So always baking some delicious treats. And actually you can see in the description if you want to find out more about the online classes, perhaps you want to make these buns as well. You don't have to make them into the hot cross buns like these, but you could just follow the class and make the buns. They're really delicious treat. So I've just been dividing up this enriched dough, shaping these now into buns. So this was already risen, this dough, and now I'm going to shape it. So I've been making this dough in class, in my live online class today. So people get to follow along step by step. As I say, it's a bit of an unusual one because normally I'd be making these around Easter. So let me just see. So when you're shaping, just going to pat that down. What you want to do, if you just put this straight in the oven, you're not going, sorry, if you put it straight in the oven, you're not going to get a bun, you're going to get a hard hockey puck. But if you put this, to leave it to rise like this, it's not really going to rise into that bun shape because there's no structure to it. You've cut through the dough and all the gas is going to rise out of it. So you want to shape your dough. And if you see, even if I just stretch that, get that nice smooth top on the top of the dough. So I was just saying, I was making this in an online class earlier today. Really interesting online class. I love teaching these online. Just some, it was actually hot cross buns. Yeah, and it's an Easter treat, but we're making them still now because they're delicious. So even though you can just see there, and it's so tactile as well to fiddle with the dough, it's a bit like Play-Doh. Even if you do that, you can see that it's stretched nice and smooth over the top, and already it's a bit more like a balloon, so you're going to be able to, the yeast are going to be able to produce gas and form that into a well-risen dough. There we go. So you get that nice smooth top. So all I've done there is stretched out the sides. You can see down here, I'm sorry it's down on the floor, let me just bring it up. You just need to stretch out, so you've got this gluten inside your dough. It's like a stretchy elastic band. So when you stretch it out, it tightens up and it also helps tighten up your dough. So all the way around, stretch. Pick off those dried fruit off the top and shape it. And if you've been watching along with the lives, then you can go back and watch some more bread making tips, and do give a subscribe if you want to find out next when I'm going live. And also if you've got any bread making questions that you want answered. So I do get lots of questions on my channel, on all my videos, and it's always great to hear. I was just answering one yesterday where someone was asking about, they followed a recipe to the T and it didn't work out. And always just bear in mind that the recipes are a bit of a guideline. Sometimes they'll work in your kitchen, or sometimes you need to make a few adjustments. So just bear that in mind. That might be one that I talk about in a future live. So I'm just stretching out this dough to make these nice tight shapes. Just saying, if you just leave that to rise, you're not going to get a well-risen piece of dough. It's not got any structure to it. It's not a nice tight shape, and all that gas the yeast are producing is just going to float off into space. So you really want to get this nice tight shape of the dough. Do let me know where you're. Oh, hi. Just seen a bit. I think from Maria there at the bottom, who's watching from the, looks like the US. Do let me know where you're based as well, where you're watching. I do have quite a few comments from the US. It's lovely to have you here. Thank you for commenting. Let me know if you've made hot cross buns before. I'm not sure how popular they are in the States. Definitely a popular treat in the UK. So just forming that up into a nice, and I don't know if you can see there, I'm just rolling it between my thumb and my fingers like that, but not turning it over. I've got the same side on the bottom. So thank you for joining me. Good to see you. Let me know if you've got any bread making questions you want answered. Always good to answer the bread making questions in these lives. I'm just going to carry on shaping up the rest of this dough, and I'm going to be leaving it to rise. So you could use this dough, it's a nice and rich dough. You could just use it as a bread. It's pretty versatile. You could make it into a loaf tin if you didn't want to make buns. Take out the dried fruit if you don't want it. It's pretty adaptable. Most bread recipes are. So just rolling that into that shape. There we go. So we've almost done all of these pieces, just shaping this bread dough. So last one, stretch out those sides. Stretch out those sides of the dough. Get a nice tight shape. And there we go. Fantastic. And again, I'm tucking the dried fruit underneath so I can get a nice smooth top on there. It's pretty calming as well. As I say, this dough is really tactile. It's nice just to shape it, put your focus on that, and you can just take some time out, shape that bread dough, and get these nice, they're going to rise really nicely into the buns. I'll probably make them into hot cross buns. Smell amazing as well. Put something called mixed spice in. I'm learning that that is something perhaps that is a bit more UK based, the mixed spice. It's not something that everyone has. It's a mixture of like more savoury spices like coriander and cloves, and then kind of what I would call sweeter spices like cinnamon, nutmeg and ginger. So it gives off this really, really powerful, delicious aroma, and it's a lot of baked goods. We're about to come to the longest day here in the UK in the middle of June, and I'll be thinking straight after that, hate to mention it, we'll be getting towards the end of the year, and I'll be thinking about festive treats as well at the end of the year. Really enjoy baking them, and they have lots of mixed spice in as well, but for now I'm going to be baking hot cross buns. All right, so that is kind of what you're aiming for when you want to make a nice tight shape. You can see that nice smooth top on there. So really stretch those gluten strands underneath, tighten that dough, and then when it rises, hopefully it won't split open in the oven, and it won't kind of burst open. When you put that in the oven, it bakes and it rises a bit more in the oven. You don't want it to burst through. So quite a simple little method to shape the buns there and to get that smooth top. As I say, it's quite, I could just sit and do that. I've run out of dough now to shape, but let me know if you've been baking anything at home recently. I love to see what everyone bakes. Had some great comments the other day, people saying they're baking loaves, baking breads, and asking about kind of, if you go back and watch, you can ask about like how perhaps your dough doesn't rise if you want to. We talked a little bit about that the other day, you don't want to bake something that turns out like a brick. And actually shaping is quite key for that. Like I said, if you just left your dough unshaped, it really wouldn't go anywhere, it wouldn't rise, and you really need to trap the gas that the yeast are making inside your bread. So it's a bit like blowing up a balloon. You really want to trap that gas inside so that it creates all those little tiny pockets inside of your dough. And it creates those little pockets, and when it bakes, it makes that light, fluffy dough inside, and that will create your really delicious final buns. So there's a shaping one, and it's been great. Been watching plenty of live streams, but let me know if you've watched any of the other ones that I've done, or if you can go back and watch them after this one. And also, if you want to find out when the next one is, then do subscribe to the channel, and you'll find out in the description that you can find out more about all my online classes as well. Lots of different online classes going on. So normally not hot cross buns at this time of year, but lots of other ones going on that are recorded. You can access at any time. So you can find out the link to that. So things like baguettes, if you ever wanted to learn something like baguettes, or you want to learn to make ciabatta, what a great picnic loaf that is if you actually do get a sunny day. The sun has broken through briefly here, but it has been raining a lot the last couple of days. June has come in not with the sunshine, disappointingly. Hopefully that'll be back. But yes, lots of different courses. So things like baguettes, ciabatta, my introduction to sourdough course, and I was talking about sourdough a week or so ago. I'm about to relaunch that introduction to sourdough course with lots of new recipes, and should be really good to get involved with. But do have a look at that one as well. It takes you step by step through making your own starter and then using it successfully to bake a bread and bake your first dough. So that's on there as well. If you follow the link in the description, you can access it, immediately access, and just bake along with me, kind of in your pocket or next to you in the kitchen, guiding you step by step, a little bit like this, demonstrating how to shape the dough. And you could also make other things like brioche, crusty loaf, the best wholemeal loaf. I love baking wholemeal bread. That is one that is definitely can turn out like a brick. So do be warned. And the key there is adding lots more liquid to your dough. But if you are interested in bread making, then do go and check those out. Have a little look at the courses available, and you can kind of bake along with me as well on there. But yeah, let me know. This was just shaping some dough for hot cross buns. So getting that nice smooth top to the buns so that it holds its shape today. And if there's anything else you can ask, then let me know if there's other things you'd want to know about shaping those buns. But that is a really useful shape to know. And then once they're shaped tightly like that, you can pop them on the tray and just leave them, and then they will rise. Cover them over. So I'm just going to leave them to rise there. And if you want to put the crosses on, you can put it on after you have let them rise. I might not with these ones, might just leave them as uncovered, and they'll just go and rise now, and let them rise a bit more. So you're going to let them rise again once you've shaped, as you've knocked out all that gas, and then going to go and let them rise again, and then they will be baked later on in the oven. But yeah, going to be a delicious tray. This is how obviously they end up. Whoa. Try not to drop them again. I did drop them earlier all over. So nice hot cross buns. You can hopefully see that delicious, fluffy, really delicious and fluffy inside there that comes from shaping it so that it holds that gas, and you get that really light and airy inside of your bun. You get that delightful tear and share of that dough. So it really helps your dough turn out not like, you don't want it to turn out like a brick. You want it to turn out light and fluffy like that, and get that nice tear and share. Well, a bit beyond lunchtime maybe, but depends where you are. Maybe breakfast time, but really delicious treat as well if you're feeling a bit hungry. But shaping those. All right, well, that was just a bit more on shaping buns. I thought I'd just pop on after doing an online class today and show you the shaping of the dough that I've been making today with my class online. And it is one that you can follow recorded, it's in the description. So do let me know if you check that out, or you want to sign up to my newsletter, you can do that too. But and let me know if there's any other questions that you are interested in knowing about baking bread at home, and lots of different things I can discuss. But I will leave you there, and I will be back on, I'm sure, very soon to start talking more about more bread making and answering your questions. It's always lovely to hear from you and hear what you've been making at home. So thank you so much for letting me know and letting me know your questions. And I will say bye for now and speak again very soon.